Starting and running a business is hard, but you don't have to do it alone. Whether you're an established business owner or thinking about starting a side hustle to earn extra income, I am here to teach you how to show up as your unfiltered self, level up your business, and thrive as a mompreneur. Let's embrace the chaos and start enjoying the journey together. I'm Amy Traw, and you're listening to the Motivated Mompreneur Podcast. Welcome back into the Motivated Mompreneur Podcast. I am joined today by Faith Hanan, copywriter and SEO consultant. And today we will be diving into 5 simple SEO updates that we can do on our website. But before we dive into that, let's welcome Faith to the show. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Amy. I really appreciate it. I just love coming and teaching people things they can do that don't take them their whole life or $900,000 to help get their business seen and found on Google. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for taking the time out of your crazy schedule, because most of our listeners, myself included, we do not have $900,000 to invest. So strategies like this that you teach are so valuable. So to our listeners today, remember, don't just consume these. You have to implement these strategies because they can work. They will work if you implement them. It's not enough to just be listening. So before we dive into that, Faith, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So, I'm a mom of 2. I have a 5-year-old little girl and a 2-year-old little boy who is all boy. I love him so much, but he's on the go all the time and so loud. And I love it so much. I live in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma, where we have barrel horses, and I compete in barrel races. We volunteer in church. I help lead worship, and I have a business helping other businesses get found on Google and grow their reach and make their website get to work for them. So I have copywriting clients, a coaching business, and then an SEO consultant branch of my business. So it's really fun and it's really full, but I love it.
I love that. So for those of our listeners that aren't familiar with SEO, what does SEO actually stand for?
So SEO stands for search engine optimization. And what that really means is doing all of the things to help your business get found on Google or whatever search engine people are using. But Google is the main one.
And why does that matter?
Well, basically because if people can't find you, they can't pay you. And Google, though their algorithm, quote, does change, it doesn't change as drastically as social media. And it's much more cut and dried as to the factors that help you get found. And so it is a huge driver, can be when done right, a huge driver of leads in your business. And it's more sustainable over the long haul. So whereas SEO can seem super intimidating at first and really deer in the headlights, when you get down into the nitty gritty and in some really tactical, practical hacks, you can put some things in play in the back end and they work for you for months and even years.
And as busy moms, that's what we need. We need something simple and sustainable. Mm-hmm. So what advice can you give us to make ourselves SEO friendly, to be found on Google?
Well, the first thing I would say, so I have some really practical, do these things tips, but the first thing I would say is don't get overwhelmed. It's really easy to get sucked into the SEO black hole and get lost and deer in the headlights and be oh my gosh, I'm not Oracle enough for this. I left my pocket protector back in high school. I cannot handle, I can't deal. And to just say, fine, I can't do it. I can't handle it. I'm not doing anything. When in reality, yes, there are a lot of super, super technical SEO things that are just I have to squint my eyes and reread 87 times to get a working definition of, even still, but not everything is like that. And it doesn't have to be like that. There are some things that you can put into play in sometimes a couple hours or less that will keep working for your business for a long time.
That is beautiful. And that Oracle analogy just had me cracking up. Family Matters, that was our Friday night jam every Friday. Oh, those were the good old days. Now I'm dating myself. So, but it's funny because I think people have the false assumption that I am going to create a website and everybody's going to find me. They're just going to, type for business coach and I will pop up. That's not how it works.
No. And it might have worked like that 10 years ago, but not today. And most business owners, especially getting started, they're just happy if their website's not ugly.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
been there, done that. I'm like, ooh, that's so pretty. And then like I wouldn't get found on anything. And then I had clients who had like really bugly websites, but they were getting found and they were getting traffic, you know, with zeros more than I was getting. And so I've started digging and I'm like, oh, like these are the things that I can practically do.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
so where do we start?
Well, so the first place that you need to start really and truly, and this is kind of an SEO thing, but not really, is your above the fold copy. So when somebody comes to your website, the above the fold section is what they see before they scroll. And I know, you know, as business owners, we're really passionate about what we do, we're really passionate about who we help, but it's really easy to get super fluffy and not tactical in your above the fold. And I don't know if you're familiar with Donald Miller at all, but his book Building a Story Brand like drives this point home like so well, and I love it. But your above the fold statement has to be super, super clear. And if you, depending on your website platform, you may need to integrate some of your keywords, which I'll touch on, into that above the fold statement. But if your above the fold statement doesn't speak to your ideal client's problem, you've lost them before they even scroll on your website because they're like, man, I ain't got time for this. And they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And that book is phenomenal. It's sitting on my bookshelf right now. And so, yes, I would highly recommend Building a Story Brand as well by Donald Miller. Game changer. And it really does go into so much depth as to what it even means and really how to like build your story
Mm-hmm.
on the front page of your website.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing. Like every website I see, I'm like, if you can only fix one thing, please fix this. Because if people come to your website and it doesn't speak to them, it doesn't do you any good anyway. But then, really, the second thing that is a very SEO thing is you need to figure out your keywords. Now, keywords are essentially like the main phrases. Just think of phrases or words that people are searching. Now, sometimes, very often, the words that people are searching with their fingertips when they're typing in Google are different than the words that are coming out of their mouth in a conversation. Like, for instance, somebody may say, I need more clients. But when you look at the search results and the search numbers, get more clients is kind of poop.
Yeah.
Lead generation is more highly searched. And so I don't know what it is about people. I don't know what it is about our brains, but when we go to type something, we think more technical than when we're speaking. And so you as a business owner, part of your job is to do your keyword research. And the number one platform that I recommend for that to all of my clients and all my friends and literally anybody who will listen is Ubersuggest, because it's not as intimidating as some of the other ones and it's a one-time purchase. A lot of the other keyword research and SEO tools are a monthly subscription, and Ubersuggest is like $290 and you get it for a lifetime. You get lifetime access. And it's way less intimidating than some of the other ones. So step number 2 is you have to figure out your keywords and the right keywords for your business, because the keywords that work for somebody with a huge audience are going to be too big for you with a small audience, because you don't have the audience to continually get your content in front of automatically. Because SEO is kind of like a loop. Like the more people that click on your content, the more Google's like, oh, this is good content, we're going to push this content, which is kind of a pain in the rear, but it is what it is. So you need to figure out the right keywords for you and for your business size. And then you need to, step 3, take those keywords and you need to put those keywords in your page titles on your website. Not your page names, not what people see across the top of your menu. Like you're not going to have some weird looking website just because you're putting keywords in your page titles. No, it's going to show up on Google, and it's a great place to integrate some of those keywords so that Google just sees another factor to bump you up to like, oh, this person is actually talking about these things.
Yeah. So is a title when you're say you're searching for something, that beginning part that comes up and then you see the text underneath it when you're doing a search, is that the title?
Yes. And it's
Perfect.
so there's a character limit. There's a whole strategy behind writing page titles. And I do this with my clients, and it's like it's kind of a nerdy but fun thing for my brain to like figure out how to do the keywords and the right keywords and the right length and all this stuff. But what it does is it shows people automatically like if you are right for them, because you could have something like your website and then business coach for moms or something like that. You could have something like that, and and then it's like, oh, well, she's a business coach for moms, and I'm a 16-year-old trying to grow my lemonade stand, like probably not what I need, or whatever, whatever that thing is, the person who's not your ideal client. And they're not going to waste their time or your time when you're clear in your page titles as well.
Right, because that's what you want. You want to pull in those ideal clients. You don't want the person that's falling way outside of your ideal client avatar, to be attracted to you. You don't necessarily want that 16-year-old. You want to have the higher level client that can pay you for your services and will appreciate the services that you provide. And I think often too, while I'm scrolling, and searching, and yeah, you read those titles. You see, oh, okay, yeah, this person, it sounds like something I want to click on. So then, yep, you click on it and get to the website, which then you hit the above the fold. This is all making perfect sense.
But you would be really surprised. I have gone through lots of websites of honestly millionaires and multi-million dollar companies, and some of them don't have their page titles. And it's like a very, very simple way to take advantage of keywords and SEO. And you do it once and you can just forget it, right? Like I say forget it. I recheck mine and I redo my keyword research, every 6 months. And I do that with a lot of clients. But for the mom who's just like, I need something that's going to keep running, like set it for a year and come back and do more keyword research in a year for, okay, my business has grown. Now I can cast a bigger net with my keywords.
Right. I love that. And I love how you say, just set kind of that reminder to come back and look at it, because so many times we forget. And those keywords, they may change as we expand our services or we pivot. So to keep ourselves relevant and pull in people that are attracted to what we're doing, that's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. And the fourth thing that really, really makes a difference is keywords, some of those same keywords and some supporting keywords in your H1 and H2 text on each page of your website. So what that does is that tells Google, oh, this person isn't just putting the keyword in their page title and then never talking about it again. They're actually creating content around these keywords. This is probably a valuable resource. We're going to bump this up in the search results. And again, you maybe redo your webpage copy once a year, once every 2 years, depending on, your bandwidth. And so this is something that you can do once a year, once every 2 years, and set it and forget it and not have to maintain it with, whatever the booty shaking algorithm on TikTok or Instagram happens to be that week, it's right. It does not take babysitting.
Yes, which is a glorious thing, because there's only so many hours in the day and so much energy we can expend as moms. Yeah. So would you caution listeners against keyword stuffing?
Oh my gosh.
Overusing those keywords. Because I think that sometimes people are like, oh, I need to put this in there. And so they overdo it.
Oh, that was totally me. The very first time I found out about keywords, I was like, oh, where can I put keywords? And I put keywords I literally looked up all the keywords I could find, and I didn't even look at the right numbers. I didn't even know the right places to look for numbers. And I made a list of keywords and literally copied those and put them in my page titles, my meta descriptions, at the ends of blogs. What even was I doing? I was all of these things I've learned, not all, a lot of these things I've learned by doing them the wrong way. Right. And now I've learned to do them the right way and help people. But yeah, you cannot dump keywords. You cannot stuff keywords. Keywords are not keywords are not the ketchup of the internet world. They don't fix everything. And so you have to use them very strategically. And so you do want some keywords in your H1 and your H2 text, but remember that that's forward facing. Your ideal client is reading this. So if this does not make sense to a person, if this does not speak to their heart, if this does not answer their number one question of, can you solve my problem? Then you probably shouldn't put it there. Yes, you're trying to get found by robots essentially, which is search engines, but you're helping people, and people are ultimately making the purchases, which is why I'm so glad that Google did the update to the algorithm in August, where they're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't push AI generated content. I'm like, yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious, because we're working with people. We always want to keep people at the forefront of what we're writing.
Exactly. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of us have made, is just, kind of going into robot mode. And it's no, we're trying to connect with people. We're all humans here connecting with other humans. Come on. Let's not do this for the algorithm. Let's do this to provide value, to serve, to be the solution for those that need our services, need our products. Yeah. So what would your number 5 simple SEO update be?
Well, as much as everybody hates it, I have to say you do really have to blog, and you have to blog strategically, and you have to blog around things that are searched. And it doesn't have to be like, blogging does not have to be a crazy time suck or a crazy money suck. Like, I've figured out just a really streamlined process where what used to take me 4 to 5 hours to create when I first started blogging, it literally took me 4 to 5 hours to write the thing, post the thing, and that was it. And like, I'm a good writer. I have a minor in English. Like, writing is easy. That wasn't the part that was hard. It was just all of the other pieces. But now I can write, publish, optimize, create graphics for a blog, and get the sucker out there in the world in an hour and a half. And so you just have to really focus your blogging strategy on, what is your client searching for? Is this actually something that is searched, or is this just something I think is searched, which is where that keyword research comes in super critical. And then you also have to think about, like, okay, is the person that's going to be reading this, can they skim this and still get the main idea? Because hello, we skim blogs. Like, I love to read, but we skim blogs. Let's just be real here. And so you have to write things in a way that are skimmable and still keyword research. So honestly, it's a fun little game for me to be like, ooh, this works. This still speaks to the person, but this still like gets me some SEO street cred and all these things. So, blogging, essentially every keyword rich blog that you post is another chance to get found. Versus if you just have your website and you have, like, let's say 5 pages on your website, that's only really 5 chances to get found. Versus if you are producing one high quality keyword rich blog a week, I mean, that's 52 new pieces of content at the end of the year that, if social media is part of your strategy, you can repurpose those bad boys, right? You're not working more necessarily, you're just working smarter, and blogging strategically then gets those high quality pieces of content out there on the internet to keep working for you for years.
Right. That's just it. And thank you so much for mentioning that, because so many people, when they hear, okay, blogging is a great way to improve your visibility, they're like, well, I don't have time for that. Well, like you said, repurpose it. Use that then on social media. Use that in your email content. Use that to answer questions that people are coming at you with. It doesn't have to be this page after page after page long article. You're not writing a whole newspaper each time. You're just seeking to provide value. So when you hear blog, don't get overwhelmed. Don't discount it. Because then what are some of the other things that blogging does too? Doesn't that create other backlinks then that can improve your SEO?
Yep, it gives you the opportunity for, backlinks. It gives you the opportunity to use internal links to keep people on your website more, and it builds a ton of street cred. Because if I go to your website and I'm like, I'm looking for business mentorship or business coaching or strategy or whatever. I say coaching just because I like to go in and like tell people how to live their life and bye. I'm not the hand holder. I just, that's not my personality. So I say coach. But if somebody's coming to your website and they see your website, but then they see 15 blogs all about, these questions that they kind of have, and they see that you are providing, your expertise in a free way, like, heck yeah, like, you've already helped me for free. Yeah. You've already proven that you know what you're doing. You've already given me valuable wins. Like, it not only helps with SEO, but it helps with the human side as well.
Definitely. And I think we so often discount the value of giving things away for free, for providing value. But it gives people an insight into your world. Here's what it's like to work with me. Here's a little bit. And it shows your credibility too. It shows that you know what you're talking about. Because when you're hiring someone, we're paying a lot of money for these professionals. We want to make sure that we're getting our money's worth. We want to make sure it's a good investment.
And blogging, if people don't have a podcast, blogging is a great way for people to get to know you a little bit. Yeah. And you don't have to write like, your dissertation. You get to write like you get to write like you speak, or at least a little elevated. And you get to write in a way that connects with people, and really does create that human connection and just builds such a wealth of things for your business.
It truly does. And it doesn't have to be rocket science. And these 5 tips can absolutely be the game changer for you. Take the time to dive in, figure out what those keywords are, and then use them strategically, just like Faith outlined. And you will see yourself starting to gain traction, because I'm sorry, it's not realistic to think you're going to put up a website and hit day one on Google search results. It's just not reality, right?
Right. And sometimes it's frustrating for people because they're like, well, I did this and I didn't see any results, but they're used to Instagram, right? Like
Yeah.
you post and you see 5 likes and you're like, oh, yay. But in
Right.
all reality, I've seen clients, I had one client who we just did the keyword research, we did her page titles, and then she pretty much went on about her life, blogging as she was blogging, and her organic traffic doubled in a month.
That's
Doubled.
insane.
And then I had another client who we went and we did like the whole like back end, like I tore up from the floor up on her business, and I just like broke it all down and rebuilt it back up with her keywords and her page title and her blogging strategy. And over 8 months, her organic or her users increased by 1,500%. Like it's
That's
insane.
incredible.
It's insane.
It is. And it's sustainable. Like you
Right.
said, it's
Right.
long game. This is not instant gratification. This is not social media. This is long game. This is going to be there no matter what the social trends are, whatever, glitches they have. This is there to stay. This is not a trendy thing. So be sure to take the time, dive into your SEO. Faith, how can we learn more and find out more from you?
Well, my podcast is honestly where I hang out the most. It's Simple SEO and Marketing with Faith Hanan, where we talk about SEO, keyword, blogging, and lead generation strategies. And then my website, faithhanan.com. And then I've got some freebies for you guys to just help make SEO not so confusing. I literally created this document for myself because I'm like, okay, this is what they're saying. This is what I think they mean. Like, I need this in normal people words.
Yes, we all do. So thank you for creating that.
Yeah. And it's just, it's a living document that as I learn stuff or as I figured more things out, I go in and change it. And you get to know these things too. So, and then I have a course that I launched in January. It's called the Organic Marketing Framework, where I literally walk you through how to optimize your website, how to optimize your messaging, and then how to create keyword-rich blogs and repurpose on Pinterest, workflows with your marketing in your email and your stress-free social media, and it's start to finish your organic marketing framework for really and truly creating and capitalizing on organic traffic for lead generation.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So you guys be sure to check out those freebies, check out her course. Listen into the podcast. Faith, thank you so much for sharing all of this value with our listeners today. And until next time, stop dreaming and start taking messy action. You've got this. Are you loving what you're hearing? Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.